Do you know what you believe? Have you ever sat down and considered why some people are conservative or liberal or joined Antifa or BLM? My name is Ali Shoaga, and this is 10 Points to Ponder, where we like to talk about all the things that get you canceled: race, politics, Jesus, and manhood. And today, instead of 10 points to ponder, we're going to have 10 questions to ponder on why you believe what you believe. Here's 10 points to ponder. Question 1. Where do my rights come from? As a conservative, I would say that my rights come from God above, that no man gives them and no man takes them away. As a liberal, your rights come from the government. And so if the government feels that it's unsafe for some reason, then government can just come and take away all these nasty rights that are going to make you sick. And BLM, Antifa, they don't think that they have any rights and won't have any rights until they overthrow this oppressive capitalistic system. Question 2. Who's responsible for the well-being of myself and my family? As a conservative, I would come right here and point to my face in the mirror and say that it's me, the individual. I'm responsible for taking care of myself and my family. Liberals, on the other hand, would say that it's government that needs to take care of them from cradle to grave through socialize this and socialize that. BLM, Antifa? Well, since we are in a country that has been irretrievably tainted by the specter of racism since 1619, 400 years, then the answer is very simple. It's white people! White people need to take care of me. They need to give me reparations for this and reparations for that. Give me a house, give me a car, give me some jewelry while you're at it because I need reparations. Question 3. When do Black Lives Matter? Well, as a conservative, you would have an answer to this, that they matter at all times from cradle to the grave. As liberals, the answer is very simple. It's every 2 to 4 years when it's time for another election. And so I gotta show you how much I care and how sensitive I am and how down I am with the struggle, because I'm the only white boy that's ever fought for you, right? A la Joe Biden. BLM, Antifa would say that Black Lives Matter only when they can serve their ends. And so they don't care about the black abortion rate, without which blacks would be 18% of the population rather than 13% of the population. They don't care about the 500 people that were shot in Chicago, or the 300 in this state and the 300 in this state. They just care about a narrative that is anti-government. And so for BLM, Antifa, Black lives only matter when they support the cause. Question 4. What protects me from getting COVID-19? To the conservative, they would say that it's God's grace, and it's also a matter of a 99.9% survival rate. To a liberal, it's endless lockdowns, endless shutdowns, and what I like to call safety theater. And so as long as I can wear a mask, even as I'm driving, even a mask with cellophane or some sort of plastic wrap in between that might be unsafe, but it doesn't matter because the optics of wearing a mask is ultimately what makes you safe. And for BLM, Antifa, they don't care about COVID. Did you see them out in the streets burning and looting? They didn't care about COVID at that time because they believe that this government and this oppressive system is a much bigger killer than COVID-19. Question 5. What is a racist? To a conservative, it's historically been someone who views someone else negatively due to a morally irrelevant characteristic, such as skin color or race or national origin. For the liberal, a racist is simply anyone that disagrees with a liberal viewpoint. And so if you think taxes need to be low, then you're a racist because poor people are black. All poor people are black. So how could you not help them? And for BLM, Antifa, a racist is anyone that believes in American values because the system itself is racist. Question 6. What is the solution to poverty? For a conservative, we know that there are no solutions, there are just trade-offs, and in those trade-offs, we want the greatest good for the greatest number. So we want to increase opportunity and increase personal responsibility so that everyone takes care of their families and does their part in giving charity of their own free will. Liberals, on the other hand, believe that we should take from everyone and give to the poor so that the poor can have something. So it's a forced charity campaign, which also in turn buys them votes. And for BLM Antifa, well, the answer is even more simple. It's just forced misery. And so if everyone's equally miserable, there'll be none who have more or less than the other. Question 7. Should abortion be against the law? For conservative, the answer is an emphatic yes. There's no difference between the fetus and a person except time and food. For the liberal, they want all abortion to be approved as both birth control and population control, including third trimester, including partial birth, including even infants that are born alive and survive abortions being allowed to just die in hospital rooms. And for BLM Antifa, they support abortion as well, but they don't understand that if the 19 million black lives that have died as a result of abortion since 1973 had been allowed to live, then the black population wouldn't be 13%, it'd be 18%, the same as a Hispanic population. Question 8. When can we restrict freedoms? As a conservative, you would say never. There is never a time when freedoms can be abridged unless you've been charged with some sort of crime and lose your freedoms. As a liberal, you would state that freedoms come secondary to safety. And as Antifa BLM, well, freedom actually is part of whiteness, and because they're Marxist, they want to get rid of whiteness and freedom so that instead we can all focus on equality of outcome. Question 9. Do you believe people are basically good? As a conservative, you would know that the answer is no. Beware! Make sure that you have a rule of law and make sure that government is only by the consent of the governed, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. For liberals, they believe that there are some who are so pristine, who have trained their minds so greatly that now they can rule all the rest of us, and if only we cooperate, they could lift us out of the darkness. And for BLM Antifa, all people are good except white people and whiteness, which again is not just a skin color, it's American ideals. And so American ideals are evil and need to be eradicated so that you can be a good citizen of China. Question 10. Now this is a question of identity. How do you define blackness? Well, as a conservative, it doesn't matter. I'm not defined by my skin color. I'm defined by the content of my character. As a liberal, well, blackness is defined by whether or not you voted for Joe Biden. That's the truth. If you're liberal, then okay, then you're black. But if you're conservative, I don't know, we're gonna have to take that card from you. We're gonna have to slap that skin off. And for BLM, Antifa, well, blackness is defined by being a 20-something white guy in a BLM t-shirt, because I'm down with the struggle. Well, did you pass the test? Just kidding, it's not really a test. I got the idea from this as I was thinking about how to clarify political viewpoints. A great book on this subject is called Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell, and in it he lays out two different visions that color our political ideology. One is the constrained vision that believes that all men are flawed and prone to evil. Therefore, we need to rely on the rule of law to govern ourselves, as opposed to an unrestrained vision that believes that there are some who are so advanced in their knowledge and understanding that they alone are qualified to pull us out of the darkness into the light of utopia. The interesting thing is that BLM and Antifa are working to try to bring about this Marxist utopia just simply quicker than the liberals are trying to bring it about. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. My name is Ali Shoaga, and this has been 10 Points to Ponder.